Alright, so quick video on the basics of Gmail. So we're in Gmail right now. Just some things about the basic view. You can see the gray emails are the read, the white are the unread. The basic default is to see it chronologically, so the most recent at the top. Starting at the top left, we've got mail, contacts, and tasks. So we're in the mail view right now. We can switch over and see our contacts, groups, things like that. Tasks, if you want to kind of use it to set notes for yourself for things you need to do, you can do that as well in here. But we'll just focus on the Gmail for now. So over on the left here, there's a compose button. So if you want to create a new email, when you click that, it opens up a new little window within the window. Over here, if you want to expand that, there's a button at the top right to make it your full screen. You can search for names within the Chinook CESD domain. So you can see both the old Chinook CESD and the new CESD 73 come up. You can choose one of those. There's also groups as well, so like DOS or Division Office staff. You can click on that. You can also use the old Chinook CESD for groups still as well. If you wanted to carbon copy or blind carbon copy, those features are over here. You just click on that and enter just like you would for the 2 as well. You can put a subject in, just type it in, and you can start writing in some text. One neat thing is if you put in something about an attachment but don't actually attach something, and then over in the bottom you click send, it'll give you a warning asking you if you'd like to add an attachment because you forgot to. So just kind of a reminder. To add an attachment, in the bottom here you've got a few different things you can add or ways you can do that. One is an attachment button. So just like in Outlook, if you're familiar with that, the paperclip would be to find a file on your computer and attach it. You can also attach right from your Google Drive by clicking on there. It'll look up for a document within your Google Drive, and you can use the search feature within there as well, which is really handy. You could put a picture in there, you could do a web link, or there's lots of emoticons you can play with too. So also there's text editing. So we can highlight something, bold it, change the color, all sorts of things. If you don't send the email and you just close it, it saves it automatically as a draft for you. So over on the left here in all your folders, there's a drafts one. You can see that email I started is there, and I can open that up again and finish it. If I don't want to send it and decide against that and I want to delete it, get rid of the draft, there's a little trash can in the bottom right. Alright, so looking again along the left here, you can see there's some different kind of labels or folders on the left here. You can set up your own. If you've been transferred over from the old account, you should have your old folders transferred as well. And they nest within each other, so you can kind of open up subfolders underneath. If you want to create a new folder or manage your folders, there's a little triangle upside down that you can do pull down on the right. If you want to add a label, remove a label, or edit it, change the color, you can make it all color-coded. Another way to do that is to click more, and you can manage or create new labels down at the bottom here. Okay, you can kind of get more in depth with managing your labels and moving them around. When you open an email, so this is something that someone said to me, it opens it up on a whole page. If you want to make it bigger than that, you can open it in a new window with this button over here. So it's its own window now. You can print by clicking here. A couple of the features here, you've got archive or delete. The difference between that is delete puts it into your trash can, which after 30 days will be deleted forever, or the archive kind of hides it from your inbox, but you can still find it by searching for it. So it still kind of exists, you just can't really see it. Spam would say that this is something you don't need in your inbox anymore, and it'll send it to the spam folder. And I'll show you where those are. If you go again to that more button on the left here, at the bottom, there's a trash can, anything you delete, and then spam with anything that goes to spam. You might want to check from time to time. There's things that aren't spam that get sent there. You can just tell them it's not spam and it'll put it back in your inbox. And it kind of teaches Gmail that way, what is spam and what isn't, where you can delete things forever that shouldn't be there. So back in that email, if you'd like to move it to a folder, you can do that within the email by using this folder button, and you can choose where you'd like it to go, or you can start to look something up that you'd like to put it in. You can also use this labels button, which basically will give it a tag and have it could be in your inbox and within a folder as well. So you can have it in two places or label them that way. You can use that for organization in a different way if you don't want to use folders quite the same way. If you'd like to reply, you can hit the reply button here. If you'd like to do a reply all or forward, you have to do the little pull down on the right here and choose forward, all sorts of different options. Additionally, you can also just rate in the bottom of the email you're looking at. You can start just writing in here and it'll automatically do a reply. When you're doing a reply, you see that it's a little different in that it pulls out the text box in the bottom. If you click on the three little dots there, it'll show you that email within the email you're sending. More like it'll show up to people you're sending it to. Okay, I'm going to go back. All right, so get into the settings a little bit now. I'll show you a few things with settings. So the settings tab is over on the right here under this cog. If you click on that and go to settings, a few things that the basics you'll be interested in. When we go to settings, there's tabs along the top. In general, if you want to, you can add a picture. The signature might be important, so you want to go down to signature and click on the box, and you can edit your signature, put that in there. You can also choose if you want your signature to show up in a reply at the top after whatever you write. So you can change your signature that way as well. You can also set if you're on a vacation, you can set a vacation responder. All sorts of settings in there you can take a look at. Another one that's interesting, you can manage your labels, is if you go into inbox, you can change how it sets things up in your inbox. And one thing I like to do is put the unread at the top, or you can say ones that are more important, but I choose unread at the beginning. So then when we save that, and we go back to our inbox, you can see everything that's unread is at the top in white here, and then everything else underneath, just as a way to organize. So go back to settings. Labs are also another thing to take a look at. So labs are experimental changes to Gmail, basically meaning they're options that are there right now, but they're just trying them out, and you have to be aware they could disappear. There's nothing dangerous about using them. It's just that be aware that one day that option that you like could disappear if it's called a lab. So some useful ones are called the preview pane. So you can just search for that. When that shows up, you click enable. And the preview pane one, once we save the changes your view in your Gmail. So now I have this little box here where I can change how I want my view to show up. So I actually have a preview within this. I don't have to go into each email. I can actually start seeing it while I'm in this window. And I'm going to choose to do a vertical split. So now on the left, I have my inbox. And if I click on an email, it'll give me a preview on the right. And I can reply in there and everything. You can also do horizontal split if you like that better. Choose an email. There it is. We'll go back to settings, into the labs again, look at a few other ones. Undo send is another one. If you enable that, what this does when you send an email, it'll give you a warning basically saying you can right away pull back that email if you sent it by accident or remembered something. So if I send this email, and now it says undo up here, just quickly, I can click undo and it won't send it. Okay, so there's some of the basics you can check out. There's a whole bunch of settings and other things, but those are some of the important ones that I like. There's lots of other labs you can look up. You can scroll through them and browse them. And those are the basics of Gmail.